just a little bit. Division 3, Week 3 play, the tipping point. 2 unbeatens, OGS NaDa versus Mouse Strelok. This will be the game that determines, does NaDa push it to game number 3, or will Strelok be the hero that takes down the beast in NaDa? And I'll tell you, in weeks prior, I was thinking NaDa looked invincible.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, Strelok, it's not like he looked bad at all against Squirtle last week. But this week, it's like, you think he brought his A game last week.
Man.
And then you're like, next time around, it's like a brand new Strelok that is even stronger than last. I mean, his control, his macro, everything about that game last time was awesome. And keep in mind, NaDa had a very efficient Banshee, 14 kills.
Yeah.
And he was like, LOL.
Absorbed
Let me go kill everything in your base. And he did so.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, just to reiterate that point, Strelok looked fantastic last week, but there's no question about it. He looks substantially better in that just first game. I mean, of course, we do have a best of 3, so it could go on to 2 more games, and Strelok could bomb out entirely. But in that first game, and no one can ever steal it, it's in the history books. Amazing. Fantastic play. Now, what does he do on Crossfire? What do I mean, we've talked about this. It's a map position kind of map. I really like it for TVT. I think this is the TVT map as far as I'm concerned. Really positionally based. A lot of expansions can go down. Rewards the player that plans ahead. And NaDa's got his back up against the wall. And NaDa's kind of like a cornered dog in that sense. And he always has been. He's lost so many series, 0-1, and then come back to win, like 2-3-1. You know, like, he is an amazing focus artist. And look at this.
You cheeky
Proxy
monkey.
Barracks.
Yep. So we have Proxy Barracks coming out from NaDa. I was going to say I love some sort of Banshee play on this map, just because it forces units to go everywhere. It's really annoying to push out. If you have masked Banshees, something like a Hellion Banshee opening would be really, really great on this map. But, I mean, Strelok, he's going to come in here, and he will see no gas is taken.
He's got to think fast expansion this time.
He's thinking fast expansion. And let me see. Did he check? No, he didn't even check the second gas. So kind of interesting.
Well, I didn't see any SCVs bringing gas, I guess. And you know, you would have.
That's true.
Under regular circumstances. Now, he is teching pretty quickly here. I have seen Proxy Racks held off by a light. Oh, but not when they add a reactor. And that reactor's going to take forever.
Rut Roshag.
It's kind of a question then. Does NaDa get over here quick? And how many SCVs does he bring?
Yeah, he's gonna wait until he has a lot of Marines. Probably 5 or so, I would say.
Uh-oh, Strelok's pushing out too.
Attack. Oh, this is not good. This is not good.
Strelok might just be trying to get at the tower. Normally, under normal circumstances, this is a great thing to do. But unfortunately for him...
It's a trap.
It's a trap. He's walking out, and actually some kind of star sense alerted him to backing off.
Yeah,
he's going to go ahead.
He sees it.
Heading back. No bunker going down. Reactor has finished. No Marines in queue. He's going for the factory. He did not see the Marines coming. He just pulled back out of sheer luck.
Oh, no.
2 Marines at the ramp, and that's what it's going to be for now. And 3 SCVs alongside 4 Marines shoving up here.
Let's see how Strelok instantaneously moves away.
To be dead.
Instantaneously moves away. Now he's targeting the reactor. Such an intelligent decision. SCVs get pulled off a line, but the micro of NaDa is pretty good, man.
Yeah, now it's 5 Marines. We do have 2 Marines about to pop out for Strelok. He still has a chance, but he's losing a lot of SCVs here. He did kill the 3 SCVs of NaDa. NaDa, meanwhile, back at home building that command center. He does have an SCV in his base, so that is known. So I mean, if Strelok holds this off, he's actually in good position, but that's a pretty big if. SCV's shoving forward. NaDa with brilliant micro does trim them down. And, Strelok wanders a little bit too far, and it costs him 2 Marines, and in this fragile early stages, that could be all she wrote. NaDa shoving forward, getting those Marines trimmed down. It's now 4 Marines for NaDa versus the 3 of Strelok, but he has 1 on the verge of death. And he's pushing forward. Hellion about to pop out. That could be the equalizing force.
Yeah, I like that trade. It's better to have smaller counts of Marines as the DPS is. It makes your SCVs slightly stronger in relativity. And now we can see another trade here, and I think it's going to be beneficial for Strelok. He will, well, by beneficial, I mean he will clean that up. Or we look back in NaDa's base. He's looking mighty fine. Harvester's a 22-10 lead
Yeah.
And on top of that, the command center is coming up as we speak. No factory tech just yet, but he pops it down. Nope, I lied.
Strelok almost loses this Hellion as well. He's got to go home and repair. Got every shot he possibly could. NaDa, again, still applying the pressure by building more and more Marines.
Oh, but
interesting choice.
Look at this switch, man. This is awesome. He's getting 2 Hellions at once.
Yeah, with the reactor.
And that's going to be super safe. I think NaDa might have to bring down a bunker. Will he make a bunker?
Nope. If he doesn't, okay, there it is. There's that bunker.
Good.
You're absolutely right.
Good NaDa.
Meanwhile, additional barracks going down inside of NaDa's base, as well as a factory. Probably going to fall back on the normal composition. Strelok wants to equalize this game with a lot of Hellions, but unfortunately for him, the window of opportunity there might be closing with that bunker. Big scan from NaDa. He sees the multiple Hellions, and he knows what's up, so he's got to both cover his ramp and the natural, but that scan could have saved him a lot. I mean, it just might have saved him a lot of trouble.
Yes. Yes, because now NaDa can look at that, positions his Marines correctly. Before he really didn't have to do that, but now it's, you know, it's the most obvious thing. Now it starts to make a little bit of a wall with these supply depots, or with one supply depot. And there is nothing that's going to happen. One Marauder is out. He's looking mighty fine. NaDa, you're on point today.
He is. He wants to stay alive, push it to game 3. Now saturating that natural. Still, Strelok is just now about to land his orbital command as well. If you look at the harvester count, it's not quite as bad. 23 for Strelok versus the 31 of NaDa. But again, in that mirror matchup, when one guy just is simply bringing in more, it hurts real bad.
It hurts extremely badly. Now we can see a little bit of a transition. Strelok looks like he's continuing the regular Marine tank opening. And OGS NaDa is already there. He has the capacity to make those tanks. Now one starts to make. Stim timing is even for both of them, so there's not going to be any stim timings for either of these players because of that.
Big +1 for NaDa, though, on his bio attack. Already about to, I mean, it's just about to complete, moments away.
That will do it.
And I got to feel like he's going to do that kind of timing we've seen in TVPs and TVZs on this map, where you just get to that top raised ground and just siege, raining destruction on that natural. And as the game goes, I mean, we're all about those Hellions, but without the Blue Flame upgrade, which they do not have.
Yeah, they're not nearly as effective.
They're nowhere near what they're a shadow of their former self.
Yeah.
One Hellion does go down at this Xel'Naga tower, NaDa pushing forward, trying to take map control. Meanwhile, it's just a mix of Marauder, Marine, and Tank coming off, Starport being added on. No additional upgrade on that engineering bay. It seems he just wanted the attack for now. But it looks like no timing here. Now, where we go from here is going to be quite interesting, because siege tanks do make this map a little bit more problematic for huge pushes, because it's all about position, and those tanks on that raised ground and narrowed spaces make them quite powerful.
Now, a little bit of advantage for NaDa, or I shouldn't say a little, a lot of bit of advantage is the fact that he has his 3rd and 4th gas going. Hasn't saturated his 4th gas just yet, but the fact that he has more gas than his opponent just gives him the ability to diversify his army a little bit more.
On the right side.
He has more of that supplementary army, namely the medevacs, the siege tanks, whatever have you. And it's very, very beneficial. Now we can see this drop on the right-hand side will be quite strong. And it'll get a good scout in. Hopefully, it'll equalize some of these what's called SCV counts, but no, it does not look like their units are just too well positioned.
And that red flame, I mean, it takes multiple shots, and when they're dropped sporadically like that, they're not focusing down units, they're shooting at every different which way. So the drop was completely ineffective. In fact, the medevac does die to a missile turret as well to round out that kind of...
And that is not a cue to say, hey, I think I should push now. Now this makes sense because he just defeated the biggest tool that was used for map control.
Right.
And he knows, hey, I have the advantage in workers, and I know I should have the advantage in siege tanks, although he doesn't right now. He should theoretically. I think he's giving himself a little bit more of an advantage than he should. But we can see this position will go uncontested.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he gets up there.
Uncontested. And Strelok knows. He's like, oh crap. No. I think I stayed too long. And now, oh no, the siege tanks come in here.
Yeah.
And one goes down. Oh, a little big blunder, actually. Kills the... Oh my gosh. He just killed 2 siege tanks for free.
Yep. I mean, just actually kind of a miscue from NaDa there.
Yeah,
he
had
the position.
Big miscue.
Push forward, got a little bit greedy, I feel. And meanwhile, we do have Strelok, again, just everywhere on the map looking for that expansion. Such good map presence.
Yeah.
NaDa now trying to do his own informational run, running to the lower right, but it looks like actually Strelok might return the favor. 4 tanks, mostly Marines, pushing out here.
Yep.
He is unupgraded, but he does have weapon attack about to finish for his bio. And NaDa could meet him in the middle, and he'd win that. An out-of-position Strelok here loses, I feel.
Yes, because of the Marauders. I would say.
And the medevac disadvantage. He's only got 1.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's down in upgrades.
It just depends on the burst damage from those siege tanks. Whoever fires first, what have you. You can see NaDa just has this commanding position, but it looks like Strelok wants to move in onto this army. I don't know if it behooves him to do that.
Oh, he's gonna... Big stem! Big stem,
and
tank sieging.
No, the tanks are gonna just get huge fires! No siege... Oh, actually, Strelok will be cleaned up!
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I was not expecting that. I don't like moving into siege tanks and not sieging your own. That's why.
You know what it is? Because this has happened to us a few times. We're like, tanks! And then they don't do that much. It's because in Brood War they did a hell of a lot more.
We're so used to, like, okay, I have to back out.
Those are siege tanks.
Yeah, I know. You have, like, 36 Dragoons and they have 6 tanks. Yeah. And they'll have like 20 vultures, but it's literally like 6 tanks. And you're like, whoa, cannot move into that position.
Not the same. StarCraft 2 Marauders can take it, man. Medevacs, Marines, they're okay.
The 35 damage throws me off so much sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of times. Also, there is +1/1 for our good friend OGS NaDa. Look at this, Strelok taking the bottom right-hand corner, but it will be spotted by NaDa. And he will be looking
Excellent
good.
position for NaDa. They're both taking their bases. This is actually quite comical. It's about at the exact same time. Literally. Like, they're going to kiss the earth. 2-second separation. So, both these players kind of on their game right here. Small duel happening at that expansion as well. And the NaDa Marine, or excuse me, the Strelok Marine does come out on top. Oh, swinging around here. And again, Strelok gets caught out of position. Do the Marauders do work? Do they? Nope, this time it looks like Strelok. Okay.
Yeah, this time it does look like Strelok will come out.
I'm going to golf commentate tank battles from the future now. It's going to be like tanks shooting. We're going to wait and see who comes out ahead here.
Meanwhile, there is an engagement in the top. A little bit of a drop by Strelok, but will be cleaned up by 4 Marines. Well, a little bit more than that before.
NaDa's pushing forward here, man. He's got this. He's got this lower right position on lockdown. Tank won that battle for the spotting.
And now he's just going to move way into position to deny this Planetary Fortress. It is Planetary Fortress, so we will have a little bit more time. These Marines are going to be like, LOL, I don't want to attack
They were thinking about it, and they're like, no, we need you guys up here.
No.
And Strelok's either got to defend or use this time for his positional attack, but he really doesn't have a call here.
He needs a counter.
Look at NaDa's base. He's got an equal-sized force.
Doesn't make sense for him to... Oh, okay.
I like the drop.
Yep, I like the drop too. So he's going to stagger drop all of these units, making
really good choice. I think he lost nothing, actually.
He lost a couple Marines. Not a huge deal. Now this Planetary Fortress gets shelled. One siege tank does get ranged out to this one siege tank over here.
It's this, you know what it is, though? Look at this resurgence of, or not resurgence, but just the surge of reinforcements from NaDa.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting where they go. They could actually even just counter into the natural. They're not going to, though. It looks like they're going to come here and try to backdoor what's being brought down upon NaDa's army. There's the unsiege, and
oh no.
NaDa sees it. Moving forward. Tanks getting a resiege, though. Actually, it's resupply. Could be in trouble. Nope, never mind. It's a 2-prong attack.
Nope. 2-prong attack. This will be cleaned up. Strelok in a huge, huge loss.
That's bad.
120 for Strelok to 155 for NaDa. NaDa in commanding position. And as Republicans would say, the surge worked.
We already did that one.
Yeah, I know. I want to have a reprise.
Round 2?
Reprise.
Now, NaDa is sieging the crap out of that Planetary Fortress, and it's being repaired, and it's staying alive, but that's costly. Yeah. And now the SVs are actually in range of getting hit as well, so it's only a matter of time. Strelok is using this opportunity to go ahead and try to take the left side, but NaDa, one step ahead of him, already in position.
That's awesome.
NaDa won't be denied this game. He's not. He is shirts off, man. He's angry. His gold necklace is all he's wearing right now.
Oh, and he might snipe off some of these units. We do see nice micro coming down from him. I do believe that NaDa will get cleaned up, yes, but actually loses 2 tanks.
Yeah.
They'll basically negate this entire force. Look at this, Strelok. You are so cute, man.
Oh, look at this. Nice move. Yeah, like, of course he did drop him outside the... That Marine had the worst job.
Yeah.
I need you to test the durability of that tank's cannon. And now a little bit of a backdoor attack. NaDa is working on this backdoor rock. Strelok will be able to thwart it, though. His tanks are in position to kind of cover that ramp. The unfortunate part, though, is that the siege location of this spot alone is advantageous for NaDa. He's going to get 2 reactors, a tech lab, and perhaps 3 barracks out of it. And meanwhile, there is a blue presence on the map. Strelok is kind of spread out here, but none of it's effective, I feel.
Yeah.
I think he's just, well, he's starting to fall behind.
Well, look at this. There is going to be a little bit of confrontation in the middle of the map here. Big stim comes off from NaDa. Neither... Oh, no. Strelok isn't stimming or sieging anything. A little bit late, but he will clean all of this up. Look at that. Strelok.
Yeah, but if you look in his main, he's...
Big pimpin'.
Lost all his barracks. And now he's trying to siege the planetary fortress, but that in and of itself actually has a tank. And that'll get cleaned up. Strelok taking the left side of the map. This is a great choice. Now pushing to the front of NaDa's base, and actually, oddly enough, NaDa doesn't have that much here. It's mostly Marines. These tanks are in position.
Yep.
If Strelok can resupply this... Oh, here we go. NaDa's going to push. No Marines trying to spread out, and they actually will do enough to bring this down.
Yep.
Quite easily. Marines are good.
And GG comes out from Strelok. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. It's going to be game 3. Now Strelok against OGS NaDa.
Backwater Gulch.
Backwater Gulch. It is division number 3. Week 3. And here we're off on Backwater Gulch.
Game 3.
3.
Oh my god. Isn't 3 one of the lucky numbers in China? I believe it is.
Yeah. Sure.
I think so.
I don't know. I'm not Chinese, man. I'm Malaysian. It's completely... Well, there's a lot of Chinese in Malaysia. They're all very, very wealthy, too.
Interesting.
Oh, higher proportion.
Cross map positions, we do have Strelok in the top right-hand corner as the red Terran dropping in. The lower left-hand corner is OGS NaDa. Almost called him Red NaDa, actually. That's a throwback. I forgot about that.
Right.
Game 3, though, ladies and gentlemen, and we gotta bring our caster A game, because you know what? This is gonna be amazing. This is absolutely gonna be amazing. Gotta make sure and not miss anything.
Better positions can we get than cross positions? Again, we've talked about this before. There can be problems with the rotational symmetry of the map, giving advantages to certain players. But because we don't have that, apparently the StarCraft gods were saying, hey, we want this match to be as epic as possible. Let's go ahead and give you guys cross positions, and hopefully we go into macro matches, man. That's what I want to see.
Give me a prediction. Who do you think wins this? Let's do it.
Oh, come on. That's hard.
Yeah, I'll do it too. We're both going to do it.
Okay. I'm going to write it down.
No, just say it. Why would you
Ready?
write it down?
On 3. Let's both say it at the same time. Ready? 1?
No. Just say who you think's going to win.
Who do I want to win, or who I think is going to win?
I asked you, who do you think is going to win? How do you answer this question so terribly, by the way? It's like one of the most basic questions.
It's so difficult.
I'll write it down. That'll be great. Then nobody can see it.
Okay. Well, I was so that I don't cheat or anything. You are so cute.
You're making this really difficult. Who do you think's going to win?
Why do you keep asking me? Okay, I think it's going to be Strelok.
I think NaDa's going to win.
I think you're stupid.
Coming from you at this point in time, that means absolutely nothing.
And both of these players are going to meet up. I love this. They both say, hey, we're both scouting in the same direction. All right. You're clearly not here.
Still with the Reapers from Strelok. Now, as a Terran player, please tell me, because I don't mean to be critical of this. I won't. What is it trying to achieve? Like, I've never seen the Reaper Scout in TVT do much, to be honest.
Map control. And anonymity. That's the big thing, because you can't say, oh, I'll just use my Hellion. Because actually a Reaper kills Hellions.
One-on-one fight. Hellion?
One-on-one fight, Reaper kills...
Really?
Reaper kills Hellion. Huh. Yes, sir. Yes, sirree.
So it's really just looking for the kind of one parry.
expansion. I mean, think about it. You can expand off of this. You can go into tech. There's a lot of anonymity that goes into this. So it might bait some sort of something.
They're actually both in the same build.
Well, a little bit different. One Marine was taken. And now I do expect Strelok to stray away from this. I think he's going to go factory tech.
Yeah, his money would tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
There it is, on the tech lab.
I'd love to see Blue Flame Hellion
Exchange
again.
of Reapers about to make their way into the base. Strelok likes this SCV at the same time, just kind of guaranteeing the scout.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like he might opt for that.
Strelok is vulnerable to this one Reaper. Ruh-roh, Shaggy.
Hey, it's got nothing in here.
No. And
this could do a lot of damage.
NaDa.
He's going to pull SCVs. Coming down to micro. NaDa gets a couple of shots out, but he might actually just have to back out here. He's like, I'm sorry!
Oh, wow. And he actually focused down one of the Reapers. One Reaper does die. This scouting SCV will do its damage in here.
Strelok returning the favor, though, actually.
Yeah.
That's his third SCV kill. So both these Reapers in God mode, actually.
But crucially, OGS NaDa is able to keep his.
Yeah.
Now we can see a couple of these units are trying to get out of here. Some good micro. Oh,
okay, he does get him.
He only needs one shot. Now he doesn't even need to chase this. I don't know why he's trying to chase it. There's really no reason to do that. But nevertheless, he's just going to back up. Everything's good to go. So overall, let's go to the income tab. 21. Well, 22 now for NaDa, but 21 for basically for both of them.
Pretty dead even.
Yeah, not that big of a disparity, that's for sure. A little bit of a difference is, of course, the Blue Flame Hellion and the Stim. Both of them going kind of different. I would like to see some... Well, I don't want to see that. 5 Marines queued up in NaDa's barracks. It's kind of weird. Very unlike him.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to fall back on that kind of regular composition. We do have a tech lab being added on the factory, presumably for siege tanks. Lots of Marines coming off. Stim is about to finish. Marines kind of stacking up at the front of that mega ramp, as I like to call it, on Backwater Gulch. Both players actually NaDa controlling both the towers. No, nope. Excuse me. I
just
misspoke.
Lost one. Yeah, he just lost
the one being controlled. But the Hellions should shut that down. And actually, it looks a lot like that game number 1 composition. And Tech Lab Reactor, mostly Hellions coming off here.
And Blue Flames are up. And keep in mind, oh no. Oh no. Oh.
What's up?
There isn't much defense at home.
Yeah, mostly just Marines right now.
Can do really, really well. 2 Marines get fried. Actually, they're not fried. They're barbecued.
Here comes Strelok. What is this? This is 5 Blue Flame Hellions. But good spread from NaDa. He's got to be careful. It's a precarious situation. Big Stim goes down. And those Hellions are going to be thwarted. Actually, one does perish in that last altercation. But if you spread those Marines, especially with Stim, they can hold off the Hellions quite well, I think.
Yes. They can, however... You know, they're only going to get like 1 fire on them. It's not going to be too effective. Now, I should be seeing Marauders. Actually, 1 siege tank will come onto the bottom here. And that's problematic. Because, again, look at that. He's trying to take that map control. NaDa's trying to take that map control yet again. And it's going to be prone to this medevac drop.
The missile turret. It's going right towards the missile turret!
And it goes around it.
He does get thwarted. I mean, redirected, I suppose. Hellions do touch down.
Hellions coming into the natural at the same time.
Oh, wow. Beautiful multi-prong attack by Strelok. But actually, you know what? The Hellions in the main, they get cleaned up pretty good.
Yeah, and the naturals. Ooh,
it's the natural, though.
And we have a 30 to 40, just about 30 to 40 disparity. But keep in mind, look back in the base. Strelok doesn't have a lot of units. Go to the units tab. 1 Marine and 4 Hellions out in the field. And he's going to continue this relentless pressure, and it gives him map control, which basically says, you cannot attack me.
I agree with you, but the other side of this too is if you look at home, he's got 0 army.
Yeah.
And every time, like, not as a position to hold this off again, well, actually, his main's in trouble. Those Marines go down, tank going to work, but oh my gosh, his main mineral line's getting torched. SCV's going down right and left. The tank's just not doing damage fast enough. And NaDa is now down to 29 Harvesters versus the 48.
Hold on that thought. 2 more Hellions come into the natural, and it looks like it's again Baron. Oh no, NaDa is going to lose his SCVs yet again. We can go to the income tab. Oh my gosh, he's losing so many. Let's take a look. 20 workers killed for NaDa. That is not looking good. That is not looking good, sir.
No, and it's showing. I mean, the timing is right now, but unfortunately for him, Strelok's pouring it on. Now up to 4 factories. Tanks are streaming across here, but I think that's actually a miss rally. NaDa does have a sizable force of tanks and Marines.
Hold that thought. Drop in the back of Strelok's base.
Wow.
And this is not going to do that much. The Hellions are going to get back here and say, LOL, I'm going to kill all of your stuff. There is a Viking on the field. Where are you, Viking? Right there. And we'll be able to take out this one lone unit.
He's going to offload first. Get him down. Get him down. They might even try to focus. Oh, friendly fire actually shattering some of that mineral line. NaDa does not unload the full
he doesn't load everything.
Force of Marines. A couple medevacs do go down, though. A nice drop from NaDa. It does stabilize things just a little bit. Brings him within 12 harvesters of Strelok. Strelok knows how to be a front runner, though, here. I mean, look at the 4 factories producing Vikings off that single starport, managing his economy fairly well. It's 101 supply versus 77. I mean, let's be honest. NaDa's losing.
Yeah. NaDa is pretty far behind. And with this army composition, I mean, you always want to keep the +1 is great for NaDa. Do keep that in mind. And he just needs to build the army, build it up even stronger, because one thing you have on your opponent is that DPS. Even though, you know, Hellions are really good against Marines, you can actually fall back on your tanks a little bit, let the tanks take a little bit of damage, and then let your Hellions just overwhelm your opponent.
Two ships passing the night. NaDa's tanks, what are they doing? They're going to the middle of the map.
Oh, no.
Meanwhile, there's a push to the left side, and they're in position now. And that's going to be really hard for NaDa to dislodge. There are Vikings here to spot, and a medevac as well.
Actually, Strelok doesn't see this. He's going to be shelled out. And it looks like, this one medevac gets picked off instantaneously.
Of course, just as I get done saying that Strelok's in fantastic position, turns out he's in terrible position. He just got his butt kicked.
Trucked, if you will.
Drop did not do any damage. He gets picked off. The push is thwarted at almost 0 cost. Now, Strelok does get map control here. He's starting to position tanks around the map. He is taking his third. Well, you know what? NaDa's actually taking his third as well. But this force from NaDa is fearsome, Greetorp.
Yes, it is. However, I mean, Strelok does... Unfortunately, he has one of these... well, he did have one of the Thor's kind of bad position. But... I mean, he's always going to be pretty cost-efficient with this. Now we can see NaDa is trying to move into position here. And his Hellions are just chilling on the top.
Oh my gosh.
One
shot
kick.
for them all.
I know. One swift kick and it's LOL. And now 2 Hellions move out over into the natural here, but they will be picked off immediately. And Strelok needs to be careful. He doesn't have map control anymore. And without map control, that's a huge, huge hit to his entire strategy. He needs map control. He relies on map control.
Composition's actually now in NaDa's favor. Those Marines are much, much better against a Thor and lack of Blue Flame army here.
Yes.
And Strelok is actually out of position. This expansion will be just kind of given up on. And I think that is the right choice. A good snap call there. NaDa has closed the gap in harvester count. It's now 51 for NaDa versus the 56 of Strelok.
Wow.
Army advantage right now residing in the NaDa corner, but it's not by a huge margin. It's not like we can say, oh my gosh, he's just dominating. Huge drop does go down in the main of Strelok. He's trailing to get into position, but actually he's got to be careful. These Marines with that medevac support can pick off a lot of Hellions. Of course, as I say that, this gets cleaned up relatively easily.
Yeah. Marines aren't terribly great at killing Hellions, that's for sure. Comparatively to the Hellions taking out the Marines.
Right.
And this is getting pretty scary, man. If we go to the unit counting station, 13 tanks for NaDa. And for what is his name? Strelok. It's 12 tanks. Blanked for a little bit. Eugene.
Well, that drop was actually quite big. Those Marines are hugely important as support units.
Yeah.
And the medevacs for this push that we see from NaDa. NaDa is saturating his third as we speak. So he is going to pull ahead economically. It is an orbital command for Strelok, just kind of floating on the mid-left side of the map. And that is unknown to NaDa just yet. And oh my gosh, they might actually collide here in the middle.
Altercation.
Gotta be careful. Oh, they're going to position themselves each other outside.
And there's one tank in range.
A one-tank duel.
Do keep in mind there is an upgrade for Strelok. He is not researching any more upgrades for his tanks, whereas NaDa does. Excuse me, NaDa isn't either, but he's upgrading for his bio, which I do
be on
like.
2-2 soon.
Do like.
A little bit of drop. Blue Flame Hellions going to work at the natural, and it just doesn't take long. Excellent shots. Holy cow. And there's that disparity again. It's back to 12. So Strelok does not want NaDa to have the economy we've come to love. I mean, he's just been an economic monster. And this game's settling down a little bit. Middle control going to Strelok, but also NaDa has control of his half the map. This might be a split map situation.
Well, that's a lot of times what we see happening in these types of altercations when there are tons and tons of siege tanks just lining the crap out of everybody. And now huge... Oh, there are a lot of tanks in range of each other. A lot of tanks going down for both of them. But it does look like Strelok got the better end of that, as there's a huge chunk of his army that's been destroyed. And there's just such a better concave for Strelok.
Yeah, but Strelok has to be careful because there's now Marauders being added to the mix with Medivacs. And if he just keeps throwing those Blue Flame Hellions away, I mean, they are fairly disposable, and that's something we talked about, but those Marauders can take out tanks. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
For the Marauders.
And especially he can just say, okay, well, my Marauders are pretty expendable, but your siege tanks need to be there. They need to be in position, else you have nothing else behind that. But so he can sacrifice his Marauders in for the most part. I mean, not like completely. He can't just be like, oh, I don't need these anymore. He can get a good exchange of siege tanks and be all right.
Now, NaDa has snuck that top left expansion, but look at Strelok boldly going for the high yield expansion, and actually NaDa responding almost instantly, parking some tanks at the high yield expansion. Xel'Naga Tower, fantastic position for those. Meanwhile, Strelok trying to sneak around some Hellions on the right side of the map, looking for that opportunity. Again, it only takes them a couple of seconds to torch an entire mineral line. Yeah. And at worst, they're doing some scouting, so it's an excellent tech choice. Strelok just really looking to secure that left side. It looks like we're going to have a bit of a trench warfare, if you will. Both players locking that up, and here come those Hellions. They have been fouled. Minimal coverage. The slowdown does catch a couple of them. But this is the worst feeling, too. They pull into that natural, and there's actually like 8 guys at work here. It's like, what? Supposed to have 30, but you know what? Excellent shots by Strelok, and he will get even more SCVs. So if it looked scarce before, now it looks just terrifyingly low.
Yeah, but the relative, defeat of those SCVs and those Hellions, I think, are pretty inconsequential.
Yeah.
As they both have a good number for themselves. Now, the top left, this is kind of an interesting take for NaDa. It's really entrenched here. I don't think he really plans on having this too long. If I were him, I would just chuck down all my mules in this location.
Right. Mine it really fast.
Yeah.
Now, the danger here, too, is that NaDa is a lot more mobile than Strelok, right? Those Marauders and Marines can move around quite fast, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Pulling to this right side. Strelok did anticipate it, though, moving his army over here. That might have just opened up position, and NaDa's going to take it, sieging his tanks at the front of the... Well, actually just kind of sieging this high-yield attempt, if you will. Not a whole lot of effort going into it. But that just gave up a lot of territory, Greetor.
Yes. And now he's going to lose the gold expansion orbital command center. Now, I think Strelok, right now, because all of his units are on the right-hand side, he can go and defend that left-hand side. There are a good amount of tanks, though. I think he should do a counter push on the right and reclaim this position in the middle, just so that he has some breathing room. Going back into the left-hand position is nothing but trench warfare. He needs to displace a lot of these units if he wants to have a chance to either counterattack the natural, because losing that much position, you effectively lose the left-hand side, and that is not the position you want to be in. And
oh my gosh, we're having a big fight here.
Yeah, huge fight going on.
Here we go. Strelok sieging up. There's the first volley. Some bio does survive, but not for much longer. Strelok's got a lot of mech there.
Oh my god. And it looks like Strelok will take the better end of that stick. We can go in the units lost tab. Actually, NaDa is ahead overall,
but I
think that fight, yeah, definitely did not take the winning end on that stick.
NaDa took that one down pretty hard, kind of disproving that. I mean, I think the bio need to be a lot more spread out. And now, oh gosh, Strelok donating some of it back, taking 3-4 volleys from these fewer tanks, and now returning fire, taking out 1 tank. Oh no, and Strelok donating a couple more. He really can't afford to do that. I mean, yes, he does have fantastic saturation of all these bases, but Think the long term. That's TVT, right? You can't be throwing units away like that.
Precisely, and now we can see Strelok looks to be pressuring in this left-hand side, but sees the 4 tanks on the hills and say, can't do that.
Don't want
to do that.
And NaDa pushing forward. Again, kind of a missed rally from Strelok, taking a lot of free fire there. Doesn't want to be doing that. Right side of the base, or excuse me, the map has been kind of ignored. This high yield expansion for NaDa secretly being taken on the right side.
And a little bit of a drop here. Marauders are dropping into position, and it looks like this one siege, actually a couple of siege tanks, will be sniped from afar. Does look like Strelok will take the worser end of that stick this time around.
Strelok got the bad news about top left.
Oh,
he's trying to land his command center. He's like, well, can't do it here because there's a base. Meanwhile, NaDa's not defending his high yield expansion at all at this point in time, and it will now be taken care of. Strelok swinging over, tanks sieging. Again, he doesn't have to be in range of that planetary fortress. Why not? Just range it.
Yes.
Force the issue. And if NaDa wants to repair it, fine. It's a cash sink, essentially. It just loses you money. And that's what's going to happen top left. Strelok's just going to move a couple of tanks up there, as we can see. And again, it might take him a half hour to kill it, but who cares? You can't repair that forever.
Now, because Strelok moves and takes this right-hand position. Now, keep in mind, these planetary fortresses are so good because it just forces tanks away from positions. That's the biggest thing. So it gives you a little bit of time. It's not that big, don't get me wrong, especially now this time in the game, but before it was really efficient. I still like him now because it says you can't just use a couple of units to move over and get over there. But we can start to see that Strelok is edging himself forward. He has good position, taking the top left. This is like no man's zone.
NaDa's balling up, though, man. Here it is.
Oh my god.
And there's not enough here. There is not enough.
Oh my god. Just as I say it.
This is an expensive attack.
Yeah.
Or not, excuse me, not attack, but it's a really good attack. And it looks like Strelok
counter needs to go on right now. He's got to return the favor. Yes, he needs to take advantage of all those units being displaced. Now NaDa will split his forces,
he's got
but the siege tanks, they get into good position. That's a big hit off of Strelok, or excuse me, off of NaDa. Taking this position is so big, as it gives him the ability to be so much more aggressive over his opponent. Now, some of these siege tanks are being ranged a little bit, but I don't think there are any more.
Actually,
no, there aren't any more. This
one expansion going down for Strelok
gets taken out. But do keep in mind, the bottom right is the expansion that hasn't been taken too much, and NaDa doesn't have that much to expand to.
Well, yeah. This army's falling.
Strelok's in a really, really nice position, in my opinion.
Really?
Really nice position.
Well, okay, he's coming over to the left side. And he does have a comparable force there, so this might freeze up. NaDa's going to move forward. That's a mistake.
Cleans up everything. Yep. And Strelok just in commanding position. I'm telling you, this right here is the winning move. This is so good from Strelok. And now NaDa knows this. He says, I need to push this as much as possible. I need to stop this from happening, else I will be screwed. It just gives him no mobility. It says, my units are locked into this confined space because it could push up on my main, which would effectively stop any single production. And now Strelok,
he's going to go for it.
Opens up. Oh.
And that bio actually getting spread out here, and that's doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, very nice damage.
Diversifying the damage from Strelok, and NaDa surges out of there. And oh no, Strelok got caught with his pants down. 4 tanks trying to join up with their brothers, but unfortunately that party is over. And they will be chased out. Now NaDa could return the favor, actually, but he did grab the tower and seize. Okay. Strelok's got more force up there. So NaDa's got to get on his horse. You're absolutely right. This right side base bringing in lots of money for Strelok. Meanwhile, NaDa is drying up a little bit. Okay, so that third base getting mined out. His fourth, not really saturated. Yeah. It's kind of half-heartedly saturated, if you will.
And you know what? NaDa knows that he's behind. That's why he's doing such a big, bold move over here. He's taking out this expansion. He has to. He has no choice. And he will... Whoa. Strelok is actually moving over to the right-hand side.
Well, he doesn't want to lose that other base.
Okay.
That's his last mining base right now.
Top left is going to be taken. I thought he was going to move into this natural, as he knows that there can't be a lot of units that are defending, but he's going to cut off all these units!
He gets cut! That's not good. Ooh. And Strelok has the commanding force over here, and actually... I feel like he could have asserted himself there, just ran down those tanks. If they wanted to siege, that's fine. They're going to do it getting nipped in the butt. But it looks like this choice was smart, too.
Yeah. Not
NaDa
too
just
bad
losing
at all.
units right and left. But actually, look at this. I mean, you know what happens here now? Strelok, that's his whole army, essentially. And it's kind of pinned. Like, yeah, he can shove forward to go kill those 3 tanks, but he'll lose some stuff. And NaDa's bringing in money. And making units. I mean, if you look at the supply, actually NaDa's getting creamed in supply. So don't look at the supply. Ignore that. Because I'm going to go into some analysis how I think NaDa's going to win. No, I'm just kidding. And here we go. Pushing forward, big stem out of those Marauders and Marines, and they do get these tanks as well. You know what? This bio does such a good job of spreading out the damage.
Yes.
They really do.
But it's so cost inefficient. That's the problem. And it gives a lot of timing for Strelok to remove back into position, because you're basically saying, I'm giving up a lot of supply at this time in the game, and I'm trading that for, for units. And if, you know, Strelok has a lot of positional units, it gives him a lot of movement to just get in there and say, hey, I claim this position, and I can just rely on myself to reinforce a bit later. Now we can see the gold being taken. Not as drying up, though. He does have the bottom right, and it is, you know, 3 SCVs. That is a lot of SCVs to be having on that. But in terms of, I'm of course being facetious, but in terms of the unit composition, I mean, these tanks, let's go to the unit counting station. 24 tanks to 6 tanks. It's, you know, by a long shot, it's
Strelok has a
favorite.
massive army in the middle of the map.
By a long shot, Strelok has massive advantage.
He does, and actually, I'm looking at that army, and I don't think there's any way to stop it. NaDa's got his tanks spread out in different places. He's now down to his final 3 tanks on this ramp. Strelok smells blood in the water, pushing forward. Strelok could be taking out NaDa right now, Greetorp. This could be happening right now.
Yeah, and this is the crucial blow. It will plug this... I was going to say...